Ha! Don't go behind me. It's time for a show where I drink and talk about martial arts. Ready? What are you doing? Get situated. All right. I'm ready to go. In September 29th, 2020. My name is Jeremy, and coffee. Still paint on my hands. Yesterday was insanely productive, like crazy productive day. Got a lot done. Lots of email and projects and just phone calls, client work. I mean, just all over the place. It was great. But I think it was too, because I couldn't wind down. Went to the gym and I was lifting weights. My mind was not with me. Smashed my finger. Oh, I'm surprised that's not bruised. Smashed my finger under a dumbbell and just said, you know what? It's time to go home. So I'll cut my workout short. I'll finish it up tonight. Most likely. And just came home and cooked some dinner and watched some TV and went to bed. What was it? I forgot to mention that yesterday, being Monday, there was an episode of Martial Arts Radio. Yesterday's episode was a little bit different. If you haven't checked it out, please go check it out. And Sensei Fran, and, I've completely forgotten the other woman's name, which is embarrassing. I don't like to forget people's names. Where were we? Hold on. Videos. Sensei Fran Vol and Simone Ferry. Yeah. Simone Fari. There we go. Sensei Fran's in her 80s, has been training since the 50s. Not her 50s, but the 1950s. And she's a high-ranking judoka and spent time in Japan and does a bunch of other stuff. Like, when we talk about people aging gracefully or enjoying their later years, I mean, Sensei Fran's not aging gracefully. She's not pulled back on anything. She's just doing what she wants to do. I find it really inspiring. So go check that episode out. We did it a little bit different because I had two people on at once, but it went well. She told some great stories. So I've got more dental work today. This is, knock on wood, the last major day. My crown is getting replaced today, in theory, with a permanent crown. And I am nervous. Because it's dental work, I'm nervous. The rest of the dental work has gone well. It has been less painful, less scary than I imagined it would be. Far less scary than everybody made it out to be. I was told root canals would be the most horrendous thing on earth. It wasn't. But we'll see how today goes. So if I'm back tomorrow and this thing looks different, that's why. I'm hoping the quality is coming through well. This is day 2 of not having very many people. There we go. Now we got a couple people. I get nervous when there are dramatic shifts in anything that we do, and we've been averaging, 4 or 5 people watching simultaneously. Yesterday, I think we maxed at 1. So we'll see. I heard after the fact yesterday that the quality wasn't very good. We can blame Comcast for that one, because I don't know what else to blame it on. Because nothing else has changed. Right? Right. What else? Anything else to tell you about? Oh, Stacy said the connection, her internet was bad yesterday. Maybe everybody's internet's bad. Who knows? Oh, isn't tonight the debate? Yeah, tonight's presidential debate. We're not going to talk about it beforehand. We're definitely not going to talk about it tomorrow, but I am going to watch. I think it's important to be informed. I don't think there's going to be much information. Anyway, I'm starting to break my own rule. Okay. So that, yeah. Phone calls and meetings, and Kat gets acupuncture, I think, and podcast interview, and teeth. And then gym, we'll see. Last couple times I've not felt like going to the gym after dental work. I don't think anybody's going to blame me for that. And then dinner and debate. Could probably turn it into a drinking game. Let's see what you all wrote in. So, remember, drop comments, drop questions, drop quotes below, and I'll respond tomorrow. That's what makes the show go. All right, today we've got, 3 quotes from Frank. Thank you, Frank, for making sure I've always got stuff to talk about. Oh, and next Tuesday will be the 13th installment of Whistlekick Live. Tuesday, 8 p.m. Eastern, Facebook, and we're calling it Season 2. We're Episode 1. We're gonna release that in seasons. And we've got new stuff planned. If you look back, every single episode we've done, we've tried some small improvements, and most of them have worked out. So we're just kind of marching forward, and I'm looking forward to seeing what comes up with this one. All right. More quotes from Zen and the martial arts. You and your opponent are one. There is a coexisting relationship between you. You coexist with your opponent and become his complement, absorbing his attack and using his force to overcome him. Bruce Lee. The relationship part. There is a coexisting relationship. This doesn't matter whether it's in a class or in competition or on the street. In order for that exchange to take place, you have to agree on some level to let it happen. You agree to compete, you agree to go to class. Maybe you don't agree to get in a fight on the street, but if you're going to engage in that fight, there's some, you're establishing some sort of connection in the way that you choose to engage. And I think it's important to understand that relationship. I think the relationships in our classes, which maybe you live somewhere where you're not making physical contact right now, but that doesn't change the concept. To train with someone is to help them get better. Hopefully they help you get better. If you're prioritizing the skill development of the person you're working with, things tend to work out. If you're prioritizing your own skills, if you are treating that person the way you would an inanimate object, you're missing out. You're not getting nearly as much as you could. There's a big difference between a person and a heavy bag, right? No, you're probably not going to haul off and kick a person as hard as you, at least a friend, as hard as you would kick the heavy bag, but you can get more feedback. That heavy bag's not going to watch you and tell you that you telegraphed your movement or that you dropped that hand in between or anything like that. Value those training relationships. Flow with whatever may happen and let your mind be free. Stay centered by accepting whatever you are doing. This is the ultimate. CHUANG-TZU. Flow with whatever may happen and let your mind be free. Stay centered by accepting whatever you are doing. If you think about it, if you really take a big step back, the things that we control in our lives are actually pretty small. I may choose where to work, but I don't choose the other people that work there. I don't choose their actions. I don't choose the way they talk to me. Unless I'm the boss, I don't choose what we're all working on. When I go to class, I don't choose who shows up. Unless I'm teaching the class, I don't choose what we're working on. There's a great deal of life, existence, that just kind of washes over us. And a lot of people spend a lot of time fighting against it. Now, that doesn't mean that you can't carve out your own space, but think about it like being in a kayak on a river. Do you try to go up the current, or you try to go with the current? You go with the current, it's a lot easier, a lot more fun. And it doesn't mean that you just sit there. You still have a paddle, you can course correct, you can still avoid the rocks. And I think that's what this is talking about. Yesterday at the gym, it was not working. I smashed my finger. I was gonna stick around and finish my weight routine and go kick the heavy bag, because that's something I've been doing after my gym workouts, and I've really enjoyed that. Now, I could have fought through it. I absolutely could have stayed and kept working out. I could have done all that. But it wasn't happening. I wasn't going with the flow. So I chose to go with the flow. And it was much easier, and I was much happier. Once I got over judging myself and feeling guilty and critical. This is the path that the river was taking me on. There's a Jim Carrey movie, Yes Man. Isn't that it? I believe it is, where he plays a character who says yes to everything. He constantly says no. And so he just, is it a spell or something? Anyway, he starts saying yes to everything, and his life changes so dramatically, and it's so much more fun and exciting, and he gets all these opportunities. A lot of us say no to a lot of things. I try to say yes to as many things as I can. Can't say yes to everything. There isn't enough time. But if friends invite me to do something, I say yes. Ooh. And sometimes the yes is implicit. I have 3-4 emails yesterday from listeners to Martial Arts Radios asking me questions and favors and feedback. I did all of it. How much time do I spend in the course of a year responding to that kind of feedback? Hours and hours, tens of hours. Could I use it on something else? Sure could. Is there something more important to spend it on? Probably not. Say yes. Do you have more control when you say no and huddle up in your house and just live your very simple existence? You could say that. But the best stories, the most exciting points in life are often unexpected. They involve other people. And they're better than we ever could have created if we had imagined things. Don't be afraid to go with the flow. One more. Softness triumphs over hardness, feebleness over strength. What is more malleable is always superior over that which is immovable. This is the principle of controlling things by going along with them, of mastery through adaptation. Lao-TZU. Great job connecting those, Frank. Thank you. It can be easy to look at that quote, this idea of softness being more valuable or preferred over hardness, and thinking that it doesn't apply, especially in martial arts. If you've ever worked with someone really skilled, I mean, just so much better than you, that didn't exert a lot of effort as they bested you either in competition or in practice. You left having learned something. You weren't injured. What about somebody who doesn't take that strategy and they just beat you? Probably don't learn as much. You're hurt. That's not better. As we develop more skill, more capacity for violence, we generally get better at learning how little we need to use to solve the problem, whatever the problem may be. And that's not just in training. It's not just martial arts, it's life. If I want to wash my car, how firmly do I press down on the body panels as I wash? You know, it leaves it all scratched. That's not better. Are there places where force is better than not? Yeah. But think about it generally. The things that we value are often soft. Gold is precious because it's rare, but early on, we valued it because it was soft and it could be turned into things. See, all this stuff together is these dots are connecting and kind of reminding me that lately I've had my head down with so much work, really just focused on all these things I need to get done. I'm kind of ignoring what the flow has been encouraging me to do. Where am I supposed to be going with this? And I see it. I see it. We've got this. Right, Zuzu? I put new hats up at whistlekick.com yesterday. Fun colors. Check them out. Oh, and there's a new version of the speed program coming. I figured out how I wanted to handle something, and there was something I was looking at that I wasn't, not that it was wrong or bad, it's something I wasn't thrilled about in the way that I released the first version. Instead of changing it, people get options. Do you want to do this version or this version? Stacy says, can't wait for my mug and shirt to arrive. I believe they've shipped. I believe everything that people ordered last week is shipped. So, this mug. You can get this mug. You can even get it in a bigger version. whistlekick.com. I appreciate you being here. Oh, Stacy says yes, she got the email. They did ship. Cool. This is going to be a challenging day for me. All this dental stuff, there's a lot of emotion wrapped up in there for me. Voices from other people that I'm working to quiet. But it's going to be okay. So, I'm going to go drink some more coffee, start my day, and I'll see you back here tomorrow. If you're so inclined, go to whistlekick.com. Check out everything that we've got over there. Don't forget Martial Journal. Don't forget the podcast has a website. Don't forget, which is whistlekickmartialartsradio.com. Don't forget all the different social media we do. So many projects. Thank you, Stacy. Stacy writes, you start my mornings well. I love being here. Love yourself today, just like we do. Thank you. That means a lot. All right. Thanks, everybody. See you back tomorrow. Take care. Peace.